Panos is there. We're going to do a Facebook Live session here in the next couple minutes. It starts at 2 o'clock Eastern, which is about a minute or two away. I'm Bob Bickel. And
I'm Allison Bickel.
And I'm going to introduce myself again, probably in 2 minutes. Until then, what do we do? Hand puppets? We're talking to you from Morristown, New Jersey, which is right outside of Philadelphia. And we're in the RunSignUp conference room, which is in this old mill building. It's about 150 years old or so. And what's great about it is that it's really cheap. And also what's great about it is that it's really crappy, and it's so crappy it's cool. Like the brick wall behind us. Hopefully that brick wall doesn't fall down during the Facebook Live. That would be embarrassing.
It's happened before.
It has not. It has not. Looks like we are live. Race Director HQ just checked in. So we'll start here in another half a minute or so.
You can like the comment if you want.
I don't know. Do I? I guess I will. Why not? So my watch says it just turned 2. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm Bob Bickel, and I'm the founder of RunSignUp. And we're talking to you from RunSignUp headquarters here in Morristown, New Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia. And
I'm Allison Bickel. No relation, just coincidence here.
No, I'm her son.
He's my dad. I am an account manager at RunSignUp, so I get to work with a great sales and customer support team here at RunSignUp to help races use all the awesome technology that we build.
Cool. So what we're going to be talking about today is CRM, and we're not going to make this specific to RunSignUp, so it's not a product pitch. But if you would like to hear a product pitch, give us a call. The CRM is kind of the hot topic, and because I'm the old guy, maybe I'll start off and I'll talk about like the history of CRM and like where it came from and what it means. Mm-hmm. So first off, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. So, and it kind of the philosophy is that you're supposed to take care of your customers better with a CRM. It actually started back in the 80s, and kind of the first big CRM that became popular was actually a PC application called ACT, and it was a contact management system. It was really built for salespeople to manage their various different prospects and customers, and to set like follow-up call dates, and to keep notes, and to keep it organized. And then in the 90s, it kind of got bigger, and Siebel was the big company back then, and they sold large enterprise type software that was used by large enterprise and high dollar value type of sales organizations. So sales organizations that were selling items that were like greater than $10,000 a piece and stuff like that. And then in the kind of early 2000s, Salesforce came on, and they kind of redefined CRM as what's called a SaaS, so software as a service. So they put CRM into the cloud, and what was really cool about that is that then the data in your CRM, all your customer data, started to be able to be easily shared, and people could use it. Now, much like the previous 2 generations, Salesforce, like its name says, was really targeted at sales organizations to try to make their lives better and easier and things like that. I was at another technology startup company at the time, And actually, we were one of the early adopters of Salesforce, and I learned about it. And fortunately, I actually invested when they went public and stuff like that, which is nice. But they've been very successful. They've grown much larger since then and have really shaped and defined the CRM landscape. Although there are a lot of different CRM competitors in the market these days. And it seems like every organization wants to implement CRM these days. Allison was at a nonprofit. Maybe you want to give the background on what they were trying to do.
Yeah, so I worked for a small to medium-sized nonprofit. I was actually in West Africa the last couple of years, and the CRM buzzword was hitting the nonprofit industry, and it was viewed as a way to solve all of your organization's data problems. And my organization ended up implementing Salesforce for nonprofits, and it ended up being a project that was extremely time-consuming, incredibly expensive for an organization that had very limited resources, both financially and human. And it didn't really end up ever getting implemented in a way to do any sort of action. It existed, but you couldn't do anything with it.
So when we started RunSignUp, we saw this opportunity to kind of aggregate all the different pieces of information that races touch into a central database. We didn't call it a CRM, but really the philosophy came from that idea, from the very start. And now the term has become popularized. And what we really talk about is the idea that you need to have a race CRM. And maybe you want to talk about what that means.
Yeah, so like he was saying, we kind of have been a core CRM engine since the very beginning of RunSignUp. And right now, as CRM is becoming an increasingly used buzzword in our industry, we're putting a very easy to use, user-friendly layer on top of all the existing power within RunSignUp. Simultaneous to that, we're trying to define what exactly this idea of a race CRM is, because we want to give races something that's useful, that's actionable. And so in our discussions about what a race CRM is, what do race directors actually need, we kind of see that like the most important part of your CRM is actually your race day experience, your brand, and your message. So your ability to put on an event, to deliver what you tell runners you're going to be delivering to them. And we really do see that as like the cornerstone of what a race CRM is. And of course, you need the technology to make sure that you're able to, implement a race day, that your runners are timed, that bids are assigned, that you don't have long lines at check-in. And you need to have those technology tools, but a lot of it is also your ability to deliver that experience, your ability to define that experience with, your unique messaging and brand. And there is no silver bullet technology tool that's going to solve all of that. There's lots of pieces that help facilitate
There's silver hair,
that.
but there's no silver
Yeah, lots
bullet.
of silver hair in this office. And so we really do see that, for a race CRM, that is the foundation of that. I guess the other foundation of that is your CRM data. And so all of your races have a ton of data. So every time that you have an interaction with a runner, when they register, when they signed up, how much they paid, their age, where they're located, if they joined a team or not, if they used a coupon to get a discount or not.
If they donated money.
If they fundraiser, exactly. Yeah. So you have all of this information that exists within your races platform. And we see that as being like the other really fundamental foundation for a race CRM. You need to have all that data in a single place. And that makes it so nice and easy for you to have all of your interactions and participant management coming from one place. When that data starts getting moved around, so when you move it to a different place to do some sort of action, it gets manipulated. It's not in the same exact format. And then when you try to bring it back, there's some messiness. So having one single CRM where you have all of your data, all of your actions, all of your participant management happening in one single place is what we see as kind of the other foundation of a CRM.
Yeah, and so if you have your data there, then what do you do with the data? And there's kind of two broad use cases for it. So one is participant management, so taking care of your customer. And then the other is trying to use that data to promote your race so you can grow your race and keep your existing customers and things like that. So, so a lot of people kind of gloss over the first one and go right to promotion, but participant management is a core fundamental part. If you take the word customer relationship management, customer, those are the people that have already signed up for your race. Are you treating them right? Do you have the proper refund, deferral, bid transfer mechanisms in place? Are they automated? Are they all integrated into that CRM so you know exactly what's happening? If I transfer my bid over to Allison because I can't run a race, you know, is that all recorded? Is that all in the data so I can use it later? Have I made that process easy? As part of my CRM is actually not the stuff that I might be sending emails from, but the actual stuff that my users are doing with the system. And it's not just the system that matters, it's your processes. So like in the races that I organize, that I'm a race director for, we have very liberal refund policies. We make people send us an email, but when they send us an email, we allow them to get refunds because it's just not worth like the negative karma for the $30 that we're gonna lose from that participant not showing up. And we're especially liberal on that, you know, like the week or two before. As we get closer to the race, we're less liberal with it, and we may just simply defer that customer's registration until the next year. And it totally diffuses, you know, situations, and you wind up with customers that are satisfied, which is kind of the core meaning of CRM. Supposed to manage my customers productively.
Yeah, and I think to go a little bit farther down, we kind of see participant management split into two different tracks. So one is that interaction with your race and your customers. So like you being able to perform the action that the runner requests. So if they request a refund, you can go and easily do that within a single platform, but also a platform that lets participants help themselves. So for example, if I signed up for a race and I realize that I don't really want my race t-shirt, I want to give it to somebody else and I want to get a different size, just having a platform that lets the runner go in and easily change that themselves, that not only reduces a race's like unnecessary customer interactions, but it also just empowers participants, and increasingly your participants are younger, they're more used to the internet, they're used to being able
they can use a phone to change their shirt size. Yeah.
Like a lot of people are used to having the power and the freedom to kind of control their own actions, and you know, giving your participants, your customers, the power to do that is really important.
Yeah, I think so. So participant management is one of the functions of your CRM. The other function that you really want to pay attention to is how do you use that to promote your race. And promotion kind of make sure you're keeping your loyal customers and make sure you're trying to reach out to other customers. And one of the things that we think about when we think about a CRM is we think about the various communities and channels, if you will, that races touch. So it might be past participants, it might be donors or fundraisers, it might be your local running clubs or triathlon clubs, or it might be running stores, it might be your volunteers, it might be your sponsors. So trying to collate all this data together and then taking action that is meaningful to each one of these communities and channels is kind of an empowering facilitation by having all this data there and then having a whole bunch of functions that you can do with the CRM data. So kind of just, I'll be techie here for a couple minutes and talk about, so I've got the CRM data and what do I want to do with it. So there's a couple of different major functions. One is I want to filter that data down so I can try to look for certain types of people. So I might want to look for donors over $100. I might want to look for participants that have been loyal. They've been to my race over 3 times and are within a 25-mile radius of the race or something like that.
You might want to create a list of participants that signed up last year for your race using a coupon. So you can reach out to them before registration even opens, say, hey, we're gonna give you an early registration. Here's a $5 coupon to get you started.
So what I think a useful term is you want to filter these out and create lists. And then what you want to do is you want to take actions on those lists. It might be sending a coupon to last year's participants or something like that had used a coupon previously. It might be targeting the people, like I was going down a loyalty route that had been there, had participated over 3 times. And you might want to send them, you might want to open registration just for those people, like a week early or something like that, so they feel special. Or you might want to give them a certain type of discount. Or the other thought that I've heard used is that somebody's looking for ambassadors for their race or training club leaders for their race. So they reach out to these people. They say, "Hey, who wants to be a training club leader? And if you become a training club leader, we'll give you a free registration to the race. We'll give you a free hoodie and a lifetime supply of coffee or something." Scott Coffee Race is one of the races that I'm the race director for.
Episode.
Oh yeah. Anyway, there's lots of different things so that's kind of the technical thing that you want to do is you want to create these lists. You want to be able to take action on these lists, and you may want to have these lists be used by other systems too. So you don't want to get yourself closed in to necessarily just using a particular system. So like one of the things you can do with lists typically is export them. So not to give a pitch on RunSignUp, but RunSignUp has a built-in email system. So within the CRM, you pick your list, you can send your emails out, it all happens dynamically. But you may use MailChimp for some type of purpose. So we have an integration where you can export these lists to MailChimp, and then MailChimp can be your communication mechanisms. You might be a larger organization that does lots of different events and needs to use MailChimp for other purposes or something.
Another example of that is you might want to create these filtered lists. So your top fundraisers, and you may want to target them with Facebook ads, reminding them, like fundraising tips, come back and fundraise for me again this year. So exporting those lists into, Facebook custom audiences, you'll be able to create lookalike audiences, and that really helps optimize and target your Facebook marketing spend. And you can get really creative with that. And you can even take those lists and do something that's completely offline. With the fundraiser example, if you want to filter and find your fundraisers that fundraised over $250 and just like give them a personal phone call, there's a lot of things that can happen, when your data is kept within a single CRM.
Yeah, so that's kind of the broad strokes. Yeah. I think we wanted this to be about 20 minutes and not bore people too much. I don't know if there's any questions that people have. Be happy to answer them if you want. Allison, what else should we talk about? I think we did a pretty good job. Yeah. That was our first Facebook Live on Race Directors HQ. We really appreciate the chance to share our thoughts. And obviously, if you need anything, feel free to reach out to us. My email is bob.bickel@runsignup.com.
And mine is allison@runsignup.com.
Allison.
Spelled correctly.
Spelled correctly, as any Allison will say, no matter how it's spelled. All right, well, signing off here from Moorestown. Which of the many uses of CRM race directors actually use the most? any memorable success stories from RunSignUp users, or creative uses of participant data. I really think that probably the biggest use is just a way to segment out and look to send a specific type of email. I think is the biggest use case. In September, 12.95 million emails came out through the RunSignUp email system. So we know that that's kind of the most popular use case. And the example, I think the CRM filter that people do by far the most is current participants and past participants. And like there's an automated email within RunSignUp that goes out before price increase. So you can set it up to go out, say, 3 days before a price increase. And the RunSignUp system, the CRM system, is smart enough to know who's already signed up and who hasn't. So what you do is you wind up sending out 2 emails. And if it's a current participant, so they've already signed up for your race, it sends them and says, hey, go and refer your friends. And RunSignUp happens to have several different referral reward types of programs that a lot of races utilize. And so you can remind them that if they get 5 of their friends to sign up, they'll get a free race registration or a free hoodie or whatever the swag reward might be. If they haven't signed up yet, say, hey, there's only 3 days left before the price goes up, sign up soon. That is kind of by far the number one. Probably the most productive and innovative kind of cutting edge use of CRM data is,
I think it's, my personal opinion, I think the coolest thing is you download a list, create a list of your past participants not yet registered for this race, and do a Facebook custom audience ad on that.
Exactly, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
So Facebook custom audiences is kind of the new mechanism to be able to reach your users. Back in the old days, you could create a Facebook page and people who liked it would see your Facebook post. So Facebook doesn't work that way anymore. You need to pay Facebook to reach users who like you. So, it's a great business model. It really is. I don't wish we were in it. I hate advertising. It's kind of slimy or something. But anyway, if you're a race, you kind of have to use it, and it really does produce results. We have a customer success story on our website from race day events. And they're returning $6 for every $1 that they spend on Facebook custom audience ads. So what they'll do is they'll use the example Allison had, or they'll just they might take all the participants from their entire history and utilize that as their custom audience lookalike. And then what you do is you upload that to Facebook, and then it's a lookalike audience that you set. And what Facebook does is they look for people that are like the people that have signed up for your race. So they'll automatically figure out things like location and interests. And so if Facebook knows that you like to run marathons and things like that, they'll automatically kind of add those filters in and so forth.
Yeah, and as you get more into these filters, you can create lists that are very specific. So you can create something like past participants not yet registered for this year's race that used a coupon in last year's race. And you create a Facebook custom audience ad with that as a lookalike audience, and you can attach a time-limited coupon of a $5 or $10 discount. That coupon expires after 24 hours. You're going to kill that ad. And there's just a lot of ways that you can just get so creative and find new ways to reach your past participants, to get new participants, and to provide them an intelligent incentive that makes sense based on their past history and interaction with your race.
Yeah, and if your race, here's another creative use. It's kind of weird, but you can ask custom questions when people are registering. A custom question might be, are you a survivor? A lot of the races are actually fundraisers for particular causes and stuff like that. By identifying those people that are interested in that cause, might be Alzheimer's or cancer or whatever, Facebook will actually, through custom audience technology, through their technology, they actually will match with people who might have similar interests and similar passions that would be interested in participating in your race.
Yeah, and I mean, also with those types of questions, it just lets you communicate in so much more of a personal way and really make sure that your brand and messaging is, making sense for your intended audience. And so.
Yeah. So like you can like divide that example of survivors and people that didn't check that they were like a survivor or something like that. So when you open up your race registration the next year, you can send 2 separate emails, right? And you can target each one of them, and and they can be much more meaningful if that's important to your race.
But I think like the point of all these examples is okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the point of all these examples is like they're very hyper specific to a race, and they aren't very like you're not going after some sort of sale that's like $1,000 or $1 million or something. Like these are very, small returns that you're doing on these interactions. And
yeah, so like, and that's why we talk about a race specific CRM. And I love Salesforce. I'm still an investor in it. I'm on the board of another company called CloudBees that is a huge user of Salesforce. We do a lot of customization work with Salesforce. It's perfect for that organization. I think that that organization is selling software that costs $5,000, $10,000, $100,000. A race, like the average price is probably $30, $40, even $100. Like the average customer is not worth like a lot of money, so you have to figure out how to do it very efficiently, and the data and information is very specific. Like you might want to send a post email congratulations to anybody who sent a PR. Like if you have some loyal customers that have run your race 5 years in a row, you can actually filter and identify who were the people that actually had their best race performance compared to previous years and things like that. So there's just a ton of things that you can do with CRM because you think about it from a race specific type of perspective.
Yeah, and your data exists. You can kind of do all these functions manually right now, and increasingly as this CRM like easy layer gets built out, there's more and more power to do that without any time at all.
All right. Well, I think we'll close down the Facebook Live now. Only Panos is sending us messages here, but we appreciate it.
He's our super fan.
He's our super fan. Yeah.
We're Race Directors HQ super fans.
Yay! All right. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and wind back a couple minutes and you'll get our email addresses. Thanks, guys. See ya.